Let's get this done before that thing runs out of juice. Right on time.
Yes.
Good job. We're live. Welcome to Mr. J.
Also known as three guys holding guitars while talking.
Yes. This is, I believe, going to be episode 4.
Probably,
yeah. So, what are we going to talk about today, Josh?
Today we are going to talk about our favorite live performances.
Fair enough. Before we get to that, what have you guys been listening to lately?
What do you mean?
Like, if I were to pull up your playlist, what's your most recent? What's your jam lately?
For me, it's been obviously Linkin Park, SlipKnot.
You're still like every day.
Oh yeah,
your
Linkin
go-to?
Park's my favorite. They're always gonna be relevant to me. Always love them.
Brian?
Well, when I have music playing, I like to listen to stuff by the albums. And I think you'll see a lot of Pearl Jam. You'd see SlipKnot. And you would see Green Day. You'd see Nirvana most of all.
Yep.
And Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh yeah, I can't forget Chris Cornell stuff.
Yeah, early Soundgarden stuff for me.
Yeah, I've been
And that's
listening to
all
a
my
lot
stuff.
of Audioslave. And who else have I been listening to?
Linkin Park.
Oh, and Linkin Park. And
Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
Don't forget Grey Days.
I got a lot of Bon Jovi going on. It's usually what I listen to on my way here. I throw on Bon Jovi. I don't know why. It's just what I do.
What
What
album do you listen to?
I actually I have about 15 Bon Jovi songs on a playlist called Bon Jovi.
That's cool.
And I just play it through because it's easy to sing to. And I get my voice all raspy when I get here. You probably notice Mike's voice is always
You kidding
raspy.
me? I thought it was even better.
Oh, there you go.
See, we're 90s guys,
Yeah.
so you kind of have to have it rasp.
Yeah.
That's what I got. There's a song I've been listening to lately. It's an old song. It's like, I think it's called Ooh La La or something.
Bye.
I don't know. I find these weird. It's a popular song.
Okay.
I can't even think of the lyrics now because I'm under the gun. But it's something about
Britney Spears.
His granddad told him, but he had to find out the hard way, sort of deal about girls. I don't know. Rockettes stuff. Anyway, so live performances. We're gonna go backwards around the room. So, Josh, I don't know if you want to do an order to this or if you just want to throw them out randomly.
I'm just gonna throw them out because I'm gonna go with my favorite first, but everything else is out of order.
Curious of what it actually is.
Oh yeah, it's not Linkin Park or anything. It's Linkin
What?
Park live in Texas, 2003.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
2003 in Texas.
Yep.
That was the year of my birth.
So that's when they had their
That's when they were at
first
their peak.
successes.
Well, they got big in the year 2000.
But
2000,
they're at their peak in 2003, would you say, with both...
from the years since they first started, from there to... they've always been good. They never really got out of their prime. But 2003, they just put up such a good performance that time. Like, his voice was on a different level. Like, it's always amazing, but for this one, it was...
Was it a big stadium deal?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
what was your favorite ones? Your favorite songs you can remember hearing on it that stood out compared to the album?
It had a lot of... It was when they only had their first 2 albums, so it was Meteor and Hybrid Theory. So I think their best one they put out on that one would have to be probably One Step Closer. They played for their last song. They added a new part to it that's not in the original song, so it made it more interesting.
What did they rap to it? Like Mike Shinoda put
No.
some more rap to it? Or?
Well, there's a little bit of rapping in it, mostly singing.
Because I like his rap stuff.
Yeah, he kind of mixed it in a lot. It sounded really cool. Chester had amazing screams throughout the whole thing. Amazing. He had amazing,
You better tell Mike one more time of how good his voice is.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you go now. Or Ryan. Whoever wants to go.
My favorite performance ever is live 1993 Nirvana Live and Loud. Wow, what a shocker. And so pretty much when I was about 13, I told my mom that I really liked Nirvana. She bought me this DVD that was Nirvana Live and Loud, and I played that concert over and over and over again. To this day, I put it on a projector as I'm playing guitar. Oh, yeah. And so it's kind of like you're playing Rock Band. And yeah, we'll have to do a video on that sometime. But yeah, there is no other concert that pumps me up like that. And my favorite tracks on it are Heart-Shaped Box and Radio Friendly Unit Shifter. Both off the In Utero album.
Do you know where it was recorded, that video?
It was some kind of pier in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure.
So it was outdoor?
Can't really tell.
Huh.
Like it has like a roof, but like no walls.
Oh, okay.
Type deal. I don't know. I watch it too many times, but I don't usually pay attention to the building that much.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my first top one is the one that we went to, just because we were there. Like we were there, we experienced it.
That was what I was gonna say right next to.
April
anyway.
2017, Def Leppard, Tesla, and of course the band that stole the show.
The best band, the ultimate band, Poison.
Yes, that was.
That's my ultimate favorite one too. I wasn't going in order. If I did, I would have put that.
And where was it again? Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Which
at
it
the
was a smaller,
stadium.
Yeah, what was it, like 5,000 people at held? Like it was a smaller
it was like
arena.
It was like an AHL type of arena.
Yeah, so it was smaller, but it was packed.
Yeah, it was a sold-out show, was it not?
I mean, everybody was standing for the whole thing.
Yeah, my legs were tired that night.
So it was everything you'd expect in an 80s concert, but it was just happened to be.
Yeah, but Poison just, between the drum solos of Ricky Rocket and the really good acoustic stuff that Bret Michaels did, like it was just a phenomenal show.
The fact that you could get Tesla at the beginning just to kind of warm the crowd up, it was perfect because Tesla isn't like hard rock, but they're really good with the guitars.
They can be.
They didn't have a lot of showmanship, but they were just really polished and really good. And then you move into Poison, and they just got the crowd rocking.
Yeah, like you would look at them, go like, yeah, that's them at their prime. That's not them over the hill or anything. Yeah. Like you would have thought, yeah, this is a top-notch concert.
And then Def Leppard, of course, came on, and they rocked, but
oh heck yeah,
like they were really good. But at the end of it, you just couldn't stop thinking about how good Poison was.
Yeah,
that's my number one.
Yeah, I would say that's my number one overall too, just because it was. I still say it to this day. It was the greatest night of my life.
So I'll throw out my next one, and I have the Who. So I'm gonna start old, and I'm just gonna say if I could go to a concert, I would love to go to see the Who play. And I guess they were kind of at their peak in 1970, and they played a show. I think it was in Europe somewhere. Oh shoot, I can't remember now. Maybe I don't know. They played a show on February 14th, 1970, and they played 38 songs.
Really?
Yes. And that.
How long of a concert would that have been? Like 5-6 hours?
I don't know. And they said they did a 15-minute version of the My Generation.
Yeah, that's a good one.
15 minutes. So
yeah, that's quite a while.
That would have been just the epic one to be. I don't. It was either in Europe or it was in like a university or college in the States. But it wasn't a big venue. But yeah, it would have been epic. So that's my next one.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. For my next one, I'm going to have to go with...
Linkin Park. Just kidding.
Great Ace.
You know what? Linkin Park would be the next one because their last concert was amazing.
Just keep going, Josh. Just keep
Okay.
going. It's your
Okay.
list.
I'm going to go with SlipKnot live at Download 2009.
Ooh.
2009.
That was a good show. I watched that one in science class when I was failing. Great
That's
concert.
really cool. But yeah, I really liked that one because their voices were on point.
Where was it?
Live at Download.
Okay.
What city?
I don't know. It
Yeah.
just says live at Download.
Okay.
But it was just so entertaining. You have the drummer going upside down, like doing the Tommy Lee thing.
Yeah.
And it's just going crazy. The crowd's going absolutely crazy. Really entertaining. The guys are putting up their top performance. It's just really fun to watch.
I wonder if when they're on tour now, if they're trying to recreate.
Oh, trust
that.
me.
You know
Trust
what I
me.
mean?
They'll
Corey
want to
Taylor-
up their game every tour.
Yeah,
They-
but there comes a point where the fans start going down, right? And you're doing these big football stadiums, and then the next thing you know, you're doing 20,000 hockey rinks, and then 5,000, and then you're doing casinos. And it's going to get hard to
Ooh.
make that vibe.
Yeah, but you can't ever underestimate Corey Taylor because this is something that everyone says, and I agree completely. His voice increases every year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it gets
Yeah.
better every year.
If you listen to the last 3 albums, you'll be like, yeah, from that album, I think he's gotten way better. He's gotten more range. And even in the slower stuff.
He only improves. That's the really cool thing about him. He doesn't go down. He only gets better. So, yeah, that's got to be my next one. Just amazing performance. Really entertaining. They do crazy stuff at SlipKnot concerts. So, yeah, I guess that's my second one.
Okay. Mine would be Live at the Moor 1995 with Mad Season. And Mad Season would probably be my favorite group ever if they would keep on putting out more albums. But just to see something so different where they brought stuff like xylophones on stage and they made it sound really good. Lane Staley's voice, everyone knows he's my favorite vocalist. And Mike McCready of Pearl Jam, he was the guitar player. He had some stuff on stage there that were just, you wouldn't find him on a little album. Like, you could only kind of enjoy that stuff live. Like, the double neck guitars.
Mm-hmm.
He had one of those, and it was just so cool to watch him play it. And yeah, that would be another one of my all-time favorites.
Duck Boy.
All right, I'll go next. I have next up concert I would love to be at. 1972, the Rolling Stones.
Ooh, that was their best year ever.
Apparently. Yeah, I would love to be there. That 1972, when they did that tour, I think I read somewhere that they almost burned down the Playboy Mansion at one time.
Yeah, that would be at their prime time of wackiness too.
Yeah, it was like a complete accident. Something with knocking over a candle in a bathroom or something.
Something stupid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're still good. Like, I don't know how old Mick Jagger is, but
They're
geez.
late 70s or so now.
Yeah,
Something like that.
72, I couldn't imagine how good they would be putting on a show.
Yeah.
Even if you could find footage, I don't know how good it would be.
You could. There's
I guess.
there's some black and white stuff. Like, I've watched some concerts they did in the 60s.
Yeah.
And to see what they would do in the 70s when they had a little bit more to offer would be a really good show.
That's it. That's what I got.
Okay, what do you got?
I'm going to have to go Audioslave live at Rock Am Ring. I think it was 2006.
Right?
2005 or 6. One of the two.
I know the one you're talking about.
Okay.
It was the Live 8 performance, wasn't it? Or is that a
Rock
different
Am
one?
Ring.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
I might be getting
yeah, it was
confused
Rock
with
Am
Live
Ring.
8, but yeah, that was a great show too. Both of them were.
Yep. Chris Cornell always puts up a great show. His voice is another one that never bad. It's never faded out. It's never dried out. It's always been really good.
He can turn like an old song to something completely different live too, and that's something very few musicians can do.
His original songs that he does, he plays it live and he makes it sound completely different.
Yeah, like look at Like a Stone or Black Hole Sun.
Yeah,
like
all
it's
that.
so different every time, and it's never a letdown.
He's truly a musical genius. He puts up amazing concerts.
Yeah.
That's gotta be one of my favorites. He's Yeah, just good band. So,
Okay.
cheers.
My next one would be Red Hot Chili Peppers live 2002 at Slane Castle, and just that concert. I remember in grade 11, I'd be watching that all the time if I was like studying homework or whatever. But I always like having that concert on because you'd see them get up and jump on the crowd, and they would. Every now and then you'd see someone break a string, but they'd keep on going. Like, you know, even though they started in the 80s, they brought it all the way to the 2000s, and they still have it now. But to bring it nearly 20 years later, and to have that many people just groove and jam with you, it's really
interesting
something.
They stuck around long enough for music to
Yeah, they just released a new album.
catch up with the way what they love to play. They didn't
Yeah.
change what they like to play to make it big. They thought it was sellouts. They're definitely not a sellout because
No,
they kept
they're really
doing their
original.
thing for so long before finally something happened and people were just like, "Whoa, what's this stuff?" So it's that's
Yeah, and they just released a new song off their album. I pre-ordered their Unlimited Love album. They just released one song, and then yesterday they released one other one. And it sounds just like how they always did, which is the thing about the Chili Peppers is that they always kind of sound the same, but it's their trademark, and it always rocks. It's like, to see that show, I think you'd get the #1 experience out of the Chili Peppers anyway. You got another one?
Sure. I'll go 1988 Metallica.
Ooh.
That was
Is that the live Pinge and Burge or whatever it's called?
it's called the Damaged Justice Tour. That's what I have written down. I think it was their first tour, kind of when they. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I know what you mean, though. That was definitely their best time as Metallica.
I think it's when they started doing like stadiums.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been when the song One came out. You know that
Yeah.
that whole album when that came out,
Yeah.
and they had. It was just before the Black album came out, but that
Yeah,
was
they
also
had
their
put
prime
out-
time as show, doing shows and all that. That would definitely be their
it was
prime.
when the media and everybody realized just how many people loved Metallica is when they started.
Not just that, but metal in general.
Yeah.
Because it almost became mainstream at one
Because
point.
Metallica was like that kind of like underground band that would play and everybody loved it. But then they did a stadium tour. It was like, whoa, they just filled this.
Yeah,
place.
they didn't
They
imagine
packed
that.
and they just packed it out of nowhere. And yeah, it was on at that point. So I would have loved to have been to one of those concerts. It would have been crazy.
Yeah. Josh, you got another one?
I'm gonna go with Alice in Chains live at the Moor. That was,
What year was that?
I think it was 1990.
Okay.
It was early on, man.
Yeah, it was.
They
pretty
played
early
two
on.
shows at the more. Well, Mad Season did, and Alice in Chains did, and that's actually known as like the #1 place for Alice in Chains.
Yep.
People to like go see a show, and if you listen to that Mad Season concert I told you about, they'll say that is the absolute best crowd they ever had was at the Moore concerts.
Yeah, but that performance in particular, that was an amazing performance. Lane Staley had his range really good. He always does, but that night he just performed so good and really entertaining. It really showed how far his voice can go. Yeah, I don't think that there's a range he can't hit because he can go all the way. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. So yeah.
Silverchair live at Luna Park, 1997. Silverchair is probably my favorite band that happened kind of after the whole grunge movement was starting to decline and all that. I feel like Silverchair kept that alive. and I have all their albums, and I can say they are probably the best group that ever started out that young. And if you were to go to that show live at Luna Park, you would think, the whole grunge act was still going. It never went away. And to see them do songs like Freak or Anthem to the Year 2000 or Slave, you just see the crowds go nuts. And I would love to be, partaking in such a fun act like that.
My next one I have is 1992-93, and it was called the Zoo TV Tour. Do you know who this is?
I don't know if I do.
U2.
Oh, U2, okay.
U2, yes. So that was, they were trying to get away from the Joshua Tree album because, I don't know, they were just like, the album kind of had its own thing going, and I think they were trying to reinvent themselves. So they kind of released the new hip U2, and then they went on this tour, and it was crazy. They tried to make it the big, crazy blow-up stuff on the stage, and huge. I think it was a stadium tour, and it was North American tour, and I guess it was during George Bush being president, and they would literally call George Bush's office every night from the stage, to the point where they would never get through to the president, but the receptionist or whoever it was that always took the call, it got to the point where Bono says, I kind of built up a rapport with her, and I could tell she kind of would get a kick out of it, because every night she could expect a call from us. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, that would have been an awesome one to go see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Def Leppard Live 1988.
Round in Your Face.
I think that's
what it's called, Live in the Round in Your Face.
Yeah.
I had that on DVD, and I watched that on the way to the Def Leppard concert we went to. Yeah, in that little portable TV.
Yeah.
I watched that, and I watched Family Guy. All the way to Grand Rapids. And Dad's like, okay, so we're going to see a Def Leppard concert tonight, so you're going to prepare yourself for, their prime of their whole career to now. But yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah. I think their best song that they did in particular was definitely Bringing on the Heartbreak. They did absolutely amazing on that one. They started off really soft, like using acoustic guitars. Then out of nowhere, the light shut off.
In that 12-string.
Yeah, and they turn the lights back on, and it just goes complete hard rock, and it gives
you goosebumps.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it just, everyone at that concert just went crazy when they hit the hard rock, and yeah, that was definitely their best performance in my opinion.
There's a really good write-up where I think it's their guitarist Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
He basically went into detail on every song on the album, and when they wrote it, what they were feeling like, how they recorded it, and kind of what behind it. It's actually a really cool read. I don't know where I even saw it.
Yeah, I've watched it, especially when I was like 13 and would constantly listening to Def Leppard. I would have saw it probably 10 times.
Yeah.
The really drummer of that band, Rick Allen, one of my favorite drummers.
And he lost his arm before that tour, right?
Yeah, he lost his arm pretty early on.
Yeah.
I think
that
was
the first
20s.
tour back. He would have just got back to England after his big world tour.
Because I think they said it took them forever to make that album, and they were getting frustrated with it. But they said one of the good things was that they gave the drummer time to kind of learn how to drum.
With his feet too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it right there.
The way he set up his drums is I think he had 4 pedals, like 4 of these, just all around, and one of them made this sound, like the snare
he had
sound.
like a floor snare.
Some of them made the tom sound. Like, it was just a really
I'd love to
genius
actually
setup.
see his drum set.
Yeah, and then half of it is like electric kit, and the other half of it is actual drums.
Oh, okay.
It
It
looked
just
really
looks
cool
really-
in
yeah.
that tour too. Like he had like hexagon looking drum
Yeah.
pieces, and it looked really fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick Allen, Phil Collins, two of some of my favorite 80s people.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think that's the first one that we all said was on our list.
Yeah,
Def Leppard.
yeah. I had another Def Leppard one, but he kind of took that away from me. That was what I was gonna put that. I guess my next one will be I gotta say probably Pearl Jam, the live Unplugged one.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of people who love the whole Unplugged MTV thing, and people like the Nirvana one a lot, and they like Smashing Pumpkins, but Pearl Jam for me was my favorite Unplugged one. And I remember when I was about 14, 15, I'd be drawing a whole lot because I like to draw, and I just remember putting that album on, waiting forever on iTunes so I can download it. And the very day it came out, I was so excited to actually get it. And to this day, I listen to at least one song every day off that album.
Pearl Jam is such an interesting band
They are,
because they have such a cult following. You know,
yeah.
like
They're like one of the only grunge bands anymore too. Them and Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, I mean they're around, but like with Pearl Jam, they're one of the few that haven't downsized. You know, they're still huge.
Yeah,
They still,
they do ballpark still.
Yes.
And it's always a 10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, and there's so many people that'll be like, oh, I've been to 100 or I've been to 150 Pearl Jam concerts. Like, there's people that tour the world just to go to every Pearl Jam. Still,
I would love to go to see Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I would love to see them once, but there's just, I don't know. They just have this weird following that's like, wow, that they really resonate with people strongly.
It's really something when a lot of people go to one show from one band and that'll be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
But when they say they want to go back to see them again, that says something about their live performance and how they take their music and how they feel about their crowds, and you got to really respect that.
My next one is, I'm up to 1989. I guess I went backwards a bit. Bon Jovi.
Knew you were gonna have a Bon Jovi thing.
Well, you gotta. The 1989 Giant Stadium. That would have been probably their peak, before they lost their guitarist, and they had so many hits. They would have been filling giant stadiums. I think that was the year where they did like just a crazy amount of concerts too, like 250 concerts.
Yeah, it probably would have been their like million concert year.
Yeah, so it would have been epic to see one of those and be in the crowd for those, because I imagine they were crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan show at any time.
That is pretty cool.
Because
I think there was 2 or 3 shows they did.
yeah, there was a couple, but the crowd at their concerts.
You couldn't hear the band though. The crowd was so loud you probably
That's
couldn't
part of
hear
the
them.
entertainment, though. How crazy people were at their concerts. I think they quit doing concerts for a long
that's why.
time because
Their fans
fans
were
would get
nuts.
hurt because they have so many crazy fans. They got like 100 fans.
It's just hard to believe you don't think of that time period having fanatics like we do now. Now we think
They were like
yeah,
the
there's
first.
crazies.
Them and
Yeah.
Elvis were like the first to ever have like this
Yeah.
fan base of just wackos, I guess.
And then I think the next one would have been Michael Jackson had that same type
Yeah,
of-
he had a
I'm not
crazy-
big fan of him.
I'm
though.
not.
Oh, neither am I.
It's
I don't like
the
it.
concerts. Like people were dying, people were passing out,
Yeah.
and all that stuff is the same deal.
It's interesting to see people who have that crazy following, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to go with the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan show. It's just very entertaining and
So you
fans
would
were
have wanted
crazy.
to be at the Ed Sullivan show in the one of the people that got to go see the Beatles. You'd been sitting there in the crowd.
Anyone would want to see the
Time
Beatles,
machine.
though.
I'd love to see it. I would not like to be the fan getting stomped
Oh
on.
no, you'd be in the back.
It's part of the
You wouldn't be one
experience of the
crazy
Beatles,
in the
man.
front.
If it was a SlipKnot concert, I would be, but
Mm.
no. It's, yeah,
Duly noted.
definitely one of my favorites. Yeah.
Nice.
You got another one?
Always. I gotta say probably Foo Fighters 1995 when they just started back, and it was Dave Grohl right after Nirvana, was all done because Kurt died, and so he took a long break from music, and he wanted to eventually come back, and he had no idea how he'd do because he was the drummer, and when you're the drummer, you're kind of the background, back in the. Because it's always the guitarist or the singer.
Drums are just as important.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Drums are better, more entertaining. Go on.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
So anyway, so he's trying to form a band. He didn't want to be a drummer. Drummers are at the back. So
He was skeptical about being the frontman of his own group.
yeah.
But he released that whole album, songs like Big Me and I'll Stick Around, stuff like that, and people loved it. And to see that first show, I'm not really exactly sure where it's at, but he got a lot of love for it. And I mean, look at him now; he's still doing stadiums like Pearl Jam,
Yeah, he stayed big for sure.
But yeah, I love the Foo Fighters, and
he's so. Like,
he's such a cool dude.
Yeah, he
I'd
lost
love to
that-
meet him.
That veil of caring and trying to be somebody you're not because that's what they want you to be. He's just, I am who I am, and I'm gonna be this person. And you can just tell he has fun because if he wants to like dress funny and go on a parade, he'll dress funny and go on a parade. Like, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wants to do. There's not like, oh, your image could be tarnished if you're seen doing that. He's like, I don't care. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing that's really cool about him too is it might have been the same concert that I'm talking about, but there'd be times where people in the crowd get hurt because there's all these mosh pits and people running into each other, and he's one of those kind of guys that just stops the show and he makes sure that they're all good.
Oh, he told someone off a couple times.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
really
He's like,
good.
yeah, people come to my show to have fun and dance. We don't have, punks like you running this and ruining others' time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell he's a great a great performer who cares a lot about his fans and likes to have a fun time.
I got one more. It's the one I watch most often. I throw it on YouTube. And YouTube's awesome because there's some good concerts on there. It's amazing.
That's what I watch most of my concerts off of.
This is AC/DC, 1990.
Ooh, when Thunderstruck came out.
I watched it and watching those guys, what great performers, and the songs are all meant to be played. Like on the radio, I'm like, eh. Then you hear it in concert, and it's just powerful. Like they're awesome. They're jams,
Yeah, and like we were talking about as far as old performers now, they still have like massive, baseball field-sized crowds.
Yeah.
So that they're all about the live performance and the experience of, Hey, bud.
Got any more, Josh?
I've got one more.
Oh, perfect.
Stone Sour. It was 2018 live at Resurrection Fest. It was a good concert, of course.
Really?
Yeah, it actually was.
Cool.
It's a Corey Taylor concert. There's no way it's going to be bad. But yeah, it was really good. He performed to the best of his ability, as usual. But yeah, I think he performed it really good. It was really entertaining. He played their softer stuff a lot, and they played their really heavy stuff, so it all blended together really good. I like the bands that kind of change it up, but do a good job doing it. Some bands do really good, some bands don't. I think Stone Sour is one of those bands that did really good at it. And yeah, I think he just did really good at that concert. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, this will be my last one. And that's Mötley Crüe, Carnival of Sins Tour 2008, and that's when Vince still had somewhat of a voice.
So you went, why 2008?
Okay, hear me out.
Yep.
You know how Tommy Lee goes on this drum set and he like does all these like flips and whatever?
Yeah.
This one, he had drum sets way up above the crowd, and he'd have like this harness on, and he'd lift right up, and he'd have like these oxygen tanks and beer kegs and all this stuff, and he'd do the most wacky drum solos.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when you think of a drummer doing a drum solo at a concert, you don't really think of it going anywhere. It's just on the stage and everyone else is off having a drink or whatever. No, he puts 110% into it, and I would just love to see some drums like that going on. And I think that they had like a whole like circus kind of thingy going on when they had it. So they'd have like these hot chicks that'd get on stage. They would have like little people on the stage. And it was just an overall sensational concert that I would really love to go to, and my cousin actually did.
Oh yeah.
And he loved it. He got sick, so he had to leave. And he had the opportunity to meet them, which would have been pretty cool, but he was sick. So. But yeah, Carnival of Sins 2008 would be a show I'd love to see.
All right, there
And
you
that's it.
Wraps it up. So thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. That's it. That's all I got. See you guys next time.
Taquito.
See ya.
I'm running out of Mexican foods to say.